Hi everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I live just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. Today we're going to make these really cute ornaments. I love making ornaments. I love being able to give my family and friends something that they can hang on their tree that they can remember me by in the coming years. Now, at first glance, it's going to be more like this one. Colors are different. In other words, I used basic cardstock and then added a square of designer series paper. It's a little bit stronger this way. Not all designer series paper is designed the same. Some is thicker than others. Sometimes the designer series paper cracks, and I have a lovely example of that. This just cracked everywhere. Love the paper, not good for ornaments. I'm going to now throw that in the trash. I kept it special for you. But then I'll show you a couple of others that I made just with DSP and also some other things. So if you want the project sheet, which in this case, you are nuts if you don't go get the project sheet, because not only do I have the directions, but I also have diagrams, which you are going to want. So I'm going to do this a little bit quickly. Well, first of all, if you're on YouTube and you need the project sheet, it's on my blog. So you want to go to stampmesilly.com. If you have any questions or you want a free catalog and don't have a demonstrator, you can email me at jandufour@yahoo.com. If there's anything you see here, like the beautiful DSP, that you'd like to order from me, you can go to my online store at jandufour.stampinup.net. Okay. Business is over. Oh, I have to say a few things. This is the end of October. We have a new brochure that has scrapbooking supplies. I showed you last week, and I think the week before, how you can utilize scrapbooking supplies not for scrapbooking. So you'll want to do that. We have our new regular mini catalog that's out, and that goes through the end of December. We have a kits sale for 30% off, and that goes through the end of October. We also have an October join, which means if you'd like to try Stampin' Up! Out just for fun, you can for $99 plus tax, but no shipping. You get $155 worth of anything you want for $99. There's no obligation. If you sign up under me, I am not going to hound you. If you want to drop out after the period, go ahead. I have had one person re-up and drop out 3 times, and that's fine with me. But while you're in, you get to have the wonderful discount and a whole bunch of other great things that happen. If you have any questions, email me and we can talk. Okay, there's my spiel. Today we're using DSP called Seasons of Green and Gold, and it is gorgeous, but I will tell you it is best if you have a non-directional pattern. So any of these first 3, which are glittery and gold and so pretty, and I know the light's messing it up, but anyway, it's very pretty. Would be great. However, some of these, actually this you might be able to get away with because you're just cutting little squares. You might want to fussy cut a little bit. But the paper's beautiful. It's just that some of it wouldn't be appropriate for what we're doing here. Okay. Now, you do need a 12 by 12 sheet of your cardstock for the backing. If you use just DSP, it already is 12 by 12. But if you don't use that, then you have to purchase our 12 by 12 paper. This is a very vanilla. You get 12 sheets. You can make 2 ornaments per sheet. So for 24 ornaments, I think the price is $12, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, we're going to start with a piece of I got the hiccups, of course. Piece of cardstock, 11.5 by 5.5. And on the diagram, it will tell you to score at, and I know you can't see this, and I'm going to, well, you can a little bit, but I'm going to still fix it, at 2 3/4, 5.5, 8 1/4, and 11. For those of you, because it's going to get a little hairier after this, so you do not have to do this. I am doing it so you can see what I am doing. I am going to, instead of scoring, I am going to mark it with a pen, which will kind of score it, just so that you can see what I'm doing, because it can get a little bit confusing. Now, if you've never made a 3D object, you're a very beginner about it, you can do this. It looks scary, but it just might take you a little bit of time. So this is the first thing you're going to do, is make these score marks. Now remember, these are score marks. I'm just doing it in colors so you can see it. The next picture shows you all of the diagonal lines you have to score. So you're going to go from the top corner. If you have the 1/2 inch, this is the glue flap, I call it. You're going to start in the topmost corner. You're going to skip the first line and go to the second. Then you're going to do the next one. And again, you're still skipping 2, but you're going right along the line. Again, and I know they don't all write, but it doesn't matter because I'm just trying to show you where the folds are. So you get the 3 long lines. Then the next thing you got to do is measure half of this, which is 2 3/4. So I'm going to make the line there, and you have to do it on both sides. 2 3/4, because this is going to be for the half line. So in other words, I'm going to start halfway and go to the first one. So just imagine if there was another whole box here, it would go there. And I'm going to do the same up here. Okay, so we got all of our diagonals in this direction. Now we have to change directions. Again, you're always going over 2, except when you're at the end and you have just a half box to contend with. And so we're going to each top of the corner, skipping over 2, and we're doing this, and right here, and right here. I know it looks like a lot of lines, but I did them in color and everything, so you should be able to see them. Now this can't go over 2, so if it did, if this line continued, it would be over 2. So if you can, that helps you to visualize it. Again, starting in the corner and going to this. Okay, we're almost done. Now this doesn't look that bad. And again, in here, I've got these lines are folded. I don't show them here. They're in light gray, but these are the red marks. These are the halfway points. Now the next one, I'm going to just turn it sideways and go. This is the full square. Go to the full square and match up these 2 boxes and just do it on the half mark, not on the full square. You're going to do that 4 times, going from here to here, and 2 more, 1 here, oops, 1 here, I'm having a hard time, and oops, now see here, I can't really see where it crosses, so I better, since I didn't fold it, I better do that. And then I can go across and keep it straight. Again, only on the outside. So you end up, I can put this away, you end up with full 4 squares with no folds or marks on them. Now we have to, now we have to fold them and burnish. So there's 1. Now you're not doing the halfway marks, just the full ones. All of these are already done. So now I'm going to do the halfway ones. And because I used a pen and wrote, it kind of made a score mark. The other thing to catch you on or to follow along is this edge should follow this line. This edge should follow this line. So it kind of, you know how when you fold a card in half, sometimes it's not quite exact. So here's your opportunity. I just made it a little bit neater. Again, I'm still folding on the half mark, and I've got 1 more or 2 more, but I'm going to go this way instead. But still, it lines up on that line. And 1 more this way. And if you do mark it, if you have trouble seeing the score lines, go ahead and use a pen. And when you're using, you know, cardstock and not DSP, you don't have to worry. It'll hold up. If you're using DSP and you want to draw on it, you're going to have to be careful because it is not as thick. See here, I just adjusted it a little bit because it wasn't quite right. You're going to have to be careful when you both write on it and fold the DSP, because again, not all DSPs are created the same. Some have ink on both sides. You don't need ink on both sides, but it makes it thicker if there are if there is ink on both sides. And the problem is again, as I showed you that terrible object that got all cut up, it's pretty disappointing after you've done all those lines and you go to fold it and it falls apart. All right, obviously I want the lines on the inside. This is going to fold over, and I'm going to put some liquid glue on it. Maybe, if I'm lucky. Ooh, this is a brand new bottle, so it's coming out very thick. And I really don't want it that thick, so I'm going to show you a trick. I think I've shown this multiple times before, but I'm just going to take a little bit of paper and kind of just scrape it off a little bit, because I don't want it getting on this part of the cardstock. Then when you fold it in half, keep this down. It should fold right over that part. Now, I'm going to put this on top because I want it to really stick and be dried before I do anything to it. And the reason for that is because that's holding your whole ball together. When you start folding, if that's not solid, it'll pop open, which will ruin your life. No, you just have to restick it. Now, I cut squares that are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. You need 4 solid ones or unfolded ones. While we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to give you a folding lesson. No, I'm not. All right, so all you're doing is folding them diagonally because they're going to be glued into a diagonal fold, and they'll hold up and stick much better if you already have them folded. Now, the one thing I haven't told you, as you can see here, I'll show you. See, this is folded, so it's better that you already fold it. The one thing I haven't told you, it's a terrible secret, and I hate it, but here it is. You have to use a glue gun for the top and the bottom. I hate using glue guns on my projects. Most of the time I can finagle it so that either tear and tape or tear and tape and glue, or, oops, I folded that one backwards. It doesn't matter. I can usually get it to work without doing that. This is just not going to work without doing that. First of all, the cardstock is thick, and I'm forcing it to do something it doesn't want to do, and I'm the boss. So I had to use glue. And believe me, a glue gun rather. I did try. I tried multiple times in multiple ways and let it dry, 20 minutes, and it's still just, it's too much force going against it. So you really got to use a glue gun. So I apologize ahead of time. I should have told you that up front, right? I don't know about you, but me and a glue gun, I don't know, we have problems. I just do so many paper crafts, I just don't use glue guns very often. All right, this should be dry now. And just to give it a little extra more drying time, I'm going to, see when you open it up, oops, now see, there we go. You open it up and it's got all kinds of things going on, and that's okay. I got stuff on here. I'm going to go ahead and take my, my plain squares, the ones that are not folded, and I'm going to adhere those first. And you kind of do want to go right up to the line, so be really light on that so that it doesn't spill over. Of course, if it does spill over, you can just let it dry and then use our gum eraser. We used to sell them, we don't anymore. Go to the box store in the art department and you will find it. So once it's dry, you can literally erase. Like right here, it's sticky. I want it sticky there anyway, but I'll just show you. And you just kind of do that and it will rub off. Now I'm not going to take any more time. It does come off, but I want to go ahead. This is going to be long enough as it is. I'm continuing to put just a little bit of glue along the edges. And you can always fix this if it does start to lift. You can fix it if you haven't quite gotten it all the way to the corners. So I'm going to go ahead and do all 4 of the straight ones first. I can smell my glue gun. It smells like it's burning. It's not really. But you know that smell, that glue gun smell. Now there are people who probably love the smell of glue gun. I just am not one of those peoples. All right, we got 4 on. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you is when I made this one, I put a sentiment on it. It says, "May your days be merry and bright." And I did that because I thought I was being very clever. I thought there were only 10 squares. Now brain was not functioning because I should have known better. But anyway, I could only get 9 squares out of a 6x6 piece of DSP. And I thought, well, I don't want to waste a whole sheet just to get one. So I went ahead and did the sentiment. Then I realized, no, you really need 12. So that means you really do have to cut into a second piece of DSP. But if you get 4 sheets of the same color, which what I happen to use did have 4 sheets, you can make 3 complete ornaments with it. So it's not, you're not wasting that way. And of course, you can always use it for other reasons, for something else if you don't, if you do have to cut into it. I just love those little candy canes. I thought they were really cute. I think it's called Iconic something. I'll look in a second while I get it under the You Gotta Dry section. So all I'm doing is now putting the folded pieces. Now I'm going to leave this part alone for right now. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to put these in, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. But anyway, so you can use 6x6 paper, but you're going to need 2 sheets to make 1 ornament, or 4 sheets to make 3 complete ornaments. So that's not too bad a deal. This has about a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. You could make that bigger or smaller depending on what you want showing behind it. And it looks a little complicated, and it does actually take a little bit of time, but I'll tell you what, I was on a roll yesterday, and I was just, after you make your first one, it all makes sense. It doesn't quite make sense when you start, but if you follow my directions, it'll make sense. If you follow my video, it will definitely make sense. But then there's no limit. You can do all kinds of stuff. All right, so I've got those done. All you have to do is fold it down. Oops. There we go. So that you get it to the halfway the other way, and then you can put the last 4 strips on. Now, as soon as I get that done, I am going to put it underneath my paperweight, which is really our largest stamping block that you use for backgrounds and that kind of thing. I tend to use my stamp positioner when I do the big ones. So I only ever use that big one as a paperweight. I have 2 of them. It works really good when you're trying to do multiple projects at a time and something needs drying time. It helps speed that up. Another way you can get stuff to stick faster is if you, my fingers are sticky, if you lay it down and then run your brayer. I'm trying to make sure this stays in the center. If you rub your brayer over it like that, it causes the glue to sink in. Got 2 more pieces, ladies and gents. So that's just another way you can make it stick faster. Helps drying time too. There's no globs of glue anywhere. All right, got 1 more. You do want to make sure it goes point to point, because when you fold in the top, it will matter. You also need, well, there's a lot of ways. I've seen all kinds of ways to tie it up. You can use, what do they call it? Floral wire. Green floral wire. It comes in different colors too now, but to make a hanger, if you want to. You can put beads on the top or the bottom. You can put tassels on the bottom. There's just a multitude of things. And I'm just going to do this for a second. There's a multitude of things you can do to decorate. I'm putting my glue away because I can't use it anymore. I have to do something else. But you can decorate them all kinds of ways. I think my favorite way, I'll show you another one, is this one. So all I did was make the loop, which I'm going to show you. And then I just tied a bow around the loop. I think that looks kind of cute. All right, so we should be coming up to being pretty much completed. And here comes the fun part. All right, I'm taking this off. I'm bringing my glue gun in. Oh, yay. I'll take that little drop. I'm actually gonna, oh, it wasn't too bad. I squirted a little bit out because when you have your glue gun on for a while and you're not using it, you actually burn the glue at the end if it's a hot glue instead of the cold one. But anyway, so here we are. I'm going to make this the top. Let's see where the back is. The back will be where the folded, well, why can't I feel it? Oh, nope, that's not it. Oh, it's very interesting. Oh, here it is. Here's the folded part that we glued over. Okay, so I want that kind of in the back, although once you do this, it doesn't really matter because it will just be floating anywhere. As you can see, when I press on this, this starts to fold in. So I want it to fold in. And one of the most important parts is that you get that fold all the way down to this line, the other fold line. Let me see if I can make it not be right here. This is, let me turn it this way so I can hold it better. This one is not quite right. And it's because it doesn't go all the way down to the point. So I'm going to make it go all the way down to the point. That's really important. So here are two that are folded. I'm going to go ahead. You just need glue along the edge here and a little bit in the middle. You don't have to do it on both of them because when you squeeze it, they're going to attach. And you do want them lined up as best you can. Right along here. And you're going to squeeze. Remember, go all the way down to that edge so it's nice and tight. Sometimes the glue will come out, and that's okay. Hopefully it won't burn your fingers. There's the first side. Now I'm going to do this side and get this right along the edge again. And I'm going to put a little bit in the middle. All right. And then I'm going to squeeze it. Again, we want to get that all the way squeezed down to the edge. Nice and straight. Squeeze, and if anything comes out, that's okay. Then since I want this to be the top, now so it kind of looks like a pope hat. I don't know what a pope hat looks like, but kind of like this. Before I make this, and this is going to fold in, both of these sides are going to fold in. So, let me make it fold in. There we go. Fold in and fold in. Before I glue that, right, before I put that together like this for my top, and yes, I see some of them are curling up. That's partly because I've been messing with it and partly because I didn't glue it well enough. I'm going to kind of press on the edges. But before I actually seal it, I want to make my hanger. This is 12 inches. You know, you can put however long a hanger you like. I like a big hanger because I have an artificial tree with fat branches. And it's just much easier if there's more space for me to hang it into, well, onto the branch rather. Having a hard time with this poor little ribbon. It's really not hard to work with. And then I'm going to pull the knot all the way down to pretty much the end. And that knot is big enough. It doesn't have to be any bigger for you to get it stuck in there. So I'm going to hold it there for a second. This thing does get away from you because it's all kinds of angles. I will tell you, it's a little bit, see how this is folded out? And that's because I went, you know, sideways. push it back in, everything won't fight you as much when you're trying to do this next part. It's easier to hold also. Now I'm going to go up here, down here, and some in the middle. Smelly glue. I'm going to kind of tuck this in here as I bring these edges together. And I'm pushing it on my body. I'm pushing it anywhere I can to get these two together. And here's a little trick I figured out. If you use a rubber band, I did this in another project a long time ago, it kind of holds it together if you keep this part up above the little edges, like that. Now, of course, it holds better if you hold it, so I'm going to hold it for a minute until the glue really settles. But if you were doing this with, you know, the green glue or tearing tape, it just, I tried it. It just doesn't happen. So there, that should be enough to hold it while I am working on the other end. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to fold it in and go along the edges, a little in the middle, a little in the middle. That rhymes. Trying to hold it together here. Whoops. And it is a little bit, I don't know, awkward, but it's so worth it. And like I said, once you've made one, it becomes easy. It really does. It's like you figured out, okay, I'm getting rid of pieces of glue in case you're wondering. So that one's stuck. Now I'm going to fold this one in. And again, see, this one did not go all the way down. So you have to make it go all the way down to the corner so that it folds properly. Put some more glue over here. Some in the middle. And I'm not getting too many strings, which is awesome. A lot of times you have like tons of glue strings. Now these go together faster. I know, this is here. We'll fix it. Because there's not as much pressure for it to let go. And make sure you fold these in. There we go. And we're going to put, we've already got the cord in there, so we don't have to do anything else. Now see, here's another one. That's not right. You've got to get it to go all the way down, or it will not be your friend. And that would be sad. All right, here we go. Here's the last one before we get serious about putting things together. So I'm putting that together. I'm putting this together. I am holding it. So I'm pressing down with my fingers, pressing in with these, pressing in with my thumbs. And that just forces the center to come together without, you know, damaging a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm just holding it that way, pressing it every once in a while. This one, again, takes a little bit longer to settle just because there's so much pressure against it not going that way. So I'm going to go ahead and put another elastic band on the other side. That's not necessary. You don't have to do this. I just found that while I was trying to do other things, it held it together better. All right. So they're basically like through the middle, but up on each section here, here, and here, and that forces it together. Okay, now get rid of the glue gun and put it over here. And then we go back with our green glue. I lied when I said we were done with it because I'm not really. But I'm going to go back and check. See, this is a little flap. Part of that, it was probably already glued. All I'm doing is sticking a little tiny dab of glue. Now, the other thing you can do is, you know, put it down on here like this, and then you can use a tool of some sort. Not that tool. You can even use a pin and use that to pick up glue and just stick it underneath. What I've got going here works fine. And I'm just going to hold that down. Make sure that that's stuck. There's another one. I'll show you the pin method or whatever else you want to use. Got to pick up some glue though. Doesn't need a lot, so I just put it in there. I'm going to put a little bit more because this one was a little bit further down. And then press that in. Part of it too is it was popping up the other way, opposite of the way this should be, so that was also putting force on it. But it's just as easy for me to, I even lift it up a little bit. It's fine, it doesn't hurt it. And stick a little bit of glue. Of course, you don't want to like squeeze a ton of glue in there, but I'm trying to show you and show me at the same time. Oops, there we go. Put that down. There was extra there, not required. And this one is little, so maybe I will just put, my hands are sticky now. Put a little bit under this one. And our glue dries clear, so it doesn't matter if it comes out a little bit. And again, you can always use the eraser. So there we have those. Those look good. I'm going to go around here. Oops, there's one. I'm going to stick this underneath it and pull it out. Really, seriously, my fingers are full of glue. But the nice thing, okay, really? You can all laugh. I can hear you laughing, and it's good. I love people laughing at me. Really good thing is it comes off by rubbing it together. Let's do that a little bit so it's not quite so fiddly. All right. And again, like I said, if it's going in the wrong direction, in other words, it's peeking out instead of peeking in, it does force it up a little bit. But you never know how good your gluing skills are until you make one of these. There's a little bit of glue there. All right, rest of it. Oh, here's one. I had more than I usually do. I got sloppy. I was trying to do this a little bit faster because I appreciate your time. I know it does take a lot of time to watch a video and then to go ahead and make something. But please, if you do make this and either you run into trouble or you make a beautiful one, send me a picture of it or at least comment in my blog down below or on YouTube if you're on YouTube. Leave a comment. Consider subscribing. I try to do some 3D projects and some cards. Haven't really gotten into a lot of scrapbooking. I scrapbooked for 40 years and just finished my last one that I know of last year for Christmas. So I don't know. We're coming out with a lot of products. I'm using them in my card making, but you never know. I might start making a few scrapbook pages here and there. But there you have it. I'm going to leave the elastic bands on there for a little while. I was telling you that I like to put a bow around the actual loop. It just kind of dresses it up, puts a little bit of a decoration at the bottom of it. Ooh, my fingers are still sticky. Let's see if I can't do this on camera. I love tying bows on camera. I'm so bad at it. All right, here we go. Here we go. No, pulled the wrong one. Wait a minute, I gotta get glue off my fingers. Okay, one more try. And if not, you can look for a picture down below later if I can't get it done. Oh, did it. All right. So then you just kind of pull it down. And as with any bow, you have to fiddle with it. I want it to sit like this. I want these down. Pull it like this till it's tight. Pull it back down again. There you go. And then this one's a little bit too long. So we're gonna get it. There we go. That's the right height. And there you have it. A little bauble, cute little present to give away. Could tie it onto a present when you give it to them. But I hope that this is the beginning of the Christmas season. You can do this with Hanukkah because you can use Hanukkah paper to make this. I've seen all kinds of ways to use that, or you can just put it as a table it does sit up. And then you can stamp their name or write their name on the top and they will be able to see it. Thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Again, don't forget to comment down below. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe. If you have any comments, again, I can take criticism. If you have any questions, you can ask me them. I always respond. And I hope that you have an incredible, great day. Bye.